Let's finish up lesson 3.6. The first video ended with product AB and then the attempt at product CD down below. So remember, we got product AB to work, but CD down below we said that the dimensions didn't match. Therefore, the product wasn't possible. So let's go back up and do one that will work. Let's find the product BA. As we think about writing this out, remember B is defined as a 3x2 matrix. So if we think about those dimensions, A was a 2x3 matrix. So we put A second, 2x3. Notice the inside values match. That makes the outside values the dimensions for our solution. This is going to be a 3x3 matrix product when we're done. So I'm going to take matrix B and actually write that first. That's 6, 5, -2, 0, and then 3 and -4. And then I'm going to write matrix A right next to it. And I'm actually going to get rid of this smiley face right here looking thing because I'm going to need that space. All right, so A is a 2x3. So it's 5, -7, and 3, and then 4, 8, and -2. As we think about the rule for multiplying matrices, in the first matrix, we have row 1, we have row 2, and then we have row 3. And in the second matrix, we have column 1, column 2, and column 3. So thinking through this, remember the rows go left to right, columns go up and down. Now our work is going to look something like this. I'm just going to zoom up a little bit because I'm going to need pretty much all this space right here. Since I need 3 rows and 3 columns, I'm going to make kind of like a tic-tac-toe board. So I've got row 1, row 2, and row 3. And then column 1, column 2, and column 3. All right, let's take that first element location, row 1, column 1. What that means is I'm going to take the elements in row 1 in that first matrix and the elements in column 1 in that second matrix. So I'm going to multiply the first 6 times that first 5, and then we're going to add the 5 times the 4. In row 1, column 2, we'll take the same numbers, the 6 and the 5 in row 1, and then we'll go over to column 2 and repeat that process. The first element 6 times the first element -7, plus the second element 5 times the second element 8. And let's do one more. Row 1, now going all the way over to column 3, so it matches that last location. Again, the first element 6 times the first element 3, and then the second element 5 times the second element -2. As we think about the answers for this row, I'm going to make a pretty big cube here, 3x3. I have my first answer, my second answer, my third answer. In that first kind of grouping, we've got 6 times 5 plus 5 times 4. Well, 6 times 5 is 30, 5 times 4 is 20. When we add them together, we get 50. In row 1, column 2, that second answer, we have 6 times -7, which is -42, plus 5 times 8, which is 40. -42 plus 40 is -2. And then in that third one, we have 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 5 times -2, which is -10. 18 plus -10 would give us a solution of 8. And those would be all the values in row 1. All right, I'd like you to do the next row. Take the same element, or take the elements in row 2, and then go column 1, and that'll give us that first location, column 2, and then column 3. And then fill out the chart for that next row. Please complete that entire row, then press play. Hopefully when you've finished, your answer looks something like this for row 2. -10 followed by 14 followed by -6. Please make sure that you have the work to support those results. And if you didn't get one of those answers, please look at how I generated those values by matching the appropriate rows with columns. And if you have a question, definitely ask in class. All right, let's try that last row. Same idea. Now take row 3 in that first column and then connect it with row or column 1 for that first spot, column 2 for the middle, column 3 for the end, and then we'll fill out those final 3 rows for this 3x3 product matrix. When you're done, press play. All right, let's take a look at that bottom row. 3 times 5 is 15, negative 4 times 4 is negative 16, and that gave me in row 3, column 1, an element of negative 1. Row 3, column 2, 3 times negative 7 is negative 21, negative 4 times 8 is negative 32, and when you combine them, we get negative 53 for row 3, column 2. And then in that last element, 3 times 3 is 9, and negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8, which gives us row 3, column 3, an element of 17. And that's how you can generate that bigger matrix product just by following the appropriate row and column rule. Now that was lengthy enough, so I'm going to go ahead and allow us to cross off the product for matrix BD. It would work, and we would get another 3x3, but I think the one that we have is enough. All right, so you're welcome to go ahead and start your CYU practice work.